Welcome back to the channel, folks. Happy New Year to everybody. Here's hoping that 2021 is kinder to the world than 2020 was. It was a really great year for films. It wasn't such a great year for everybody else. My father-in-law passed away from COVID. I've had COVID in my house. I've been on lockdown and quarantine twice. Still doing well, healthy myself, getting tested often, and I hope all you guys are taking care of yourselves as well. Wanted to do an update, collection update, see what's been coming into the mausoleum. A lot of these will have reviews up on the site soon if they don't already have them up there. I'm going to begin with some DVDs from Umbrella Entertainment out of Australia. We got Stranger on the Run, part of their 6-shooter classics lineup. This is a film directed by Don Siegel, who directed Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one, as well as many other excellent films. This is a TV Western. I'd never heard of it before they announced it. It's a fantastic little Western about a stranger who arrives in town, literally thrown off of a train for riding the rails. Gets mixed up with the local happenings, stirs things up. But it's got Henry Fonda in it, who's amazing. This is, I believe this is 1967. Michael Parks is in this. It's probably the earliest film I've seen yet from Michael Parks. I haven't seen a bunch of his stuff. I'm not a huge American Western fan, but I love Don Siegel's The Shooter with John Wayne, and I also love this with Henry Fonda. Definitely worth giving it a watch. Completely different from that, we've got Sky Sharks, which I've only watched about 10 minutes of so far. I was putting it on this morning while I was working from home, and the gore is ridiculous. There's decapitated heads, exploding bodies, zombie Nazis, flying sharks. It's ridiculous. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Sky Sharks, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it looks like it's going to be worth a watch. Something a little more recent is Rent-A-Pal, which was one of my favorite films of 2020. Stars Brian Landis Folkens as a lonely guy living at home with his elderly mom. She's got dementia. He's desperate for friends. He's doing the video dating services. He rents a VHS called Rent-A-Pal, and it's a character named Andy, played by Will Wheaton, talking to him, like being his friend through the VHS tape. And it starts to get a little creepy. You know, he thinks he's living his best life following the advice he thinks he's getting from this Rent-A-Pal VHS tape, but things take a very dark turn. Rent-A-Pal, definitely check it out. I know it's streaming right now. Also in for review from CBS Video and Paramount is Season 2 of The Twilight Zone. I am loving Jordan Peele's new spin on The Twilight Zone. I wish it wasn't just streaming on CBS All Access. This should be on TV for everyone to see. The Twilight Zone. It's a modern reimagining of the classic TV series. I have seen this episode. It's been a while since I finished it up. I'm looking forward to a revisit, giving it a review on the site. But I love all the iterations of The Twilight Zone. I love the one in the 60s. I've loved the one from the 90s. I love this reimagining. This is good stuff, The Twilight Zone. I'm not sure if they released it on Blu or not. If it is, I'm going to upgrade. I know the first season was released on Blu. Getting into some stuff I bought for myself for Christmas. Some Scream Factory titles. We got Hammer's The Evil of Frankenstein. Pretty terrific film. This one's got an audio commentary from Constantine Nasir. The Making of Evil of Frankenstein, narrated by Edward de Souza, with interviews with Peter Cushing and Karen Gardner, Associate Director Hugh Harlow, script continuity, girl Pauline Harlow, Wayne Kinsey, and Art Director Don Mingaya. A Moment with Karen Gardner, theatrical trailer, and still galleries. This also has alternate artwork, which is pretty cool. I try to pick up all of these Hammer films when they get released from Scream Factory, including The Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed, a really good Spanish set werewolf movie. This one also has some original artwork on it, which looks pretty great. This one gets a new 4K scan from the original negative. new commentary with Steve Haberman and Konstantin Nasir. The Men Who Made Hammer featurette, The Making of Curse of the Werewolf, and The Beast and All of Us featurette, a theatrical trailer, and a still gallery. It's pretty packed, fun film. As they mention in the making of featurettes, Oliver Reed doesn't need much makeup to look like a werewolf already. Love that artwork. I also picked up Nicolas Cage in Mandy. I'd seen it before. I streamed it. Finally picked up the Blu-ray. I think I got it for $5 on Amazon. But this is a great film from, what's his name? Panos Cosmatos. Love that name too. And I was on kind of an unhinged Nick Cage kick, so I upgraded my Color Out of Space DVD to a 4K. I love Richard Stanley's adaptation of The Color Out of Space. This is a fantastic film, completely unhinged, deranged, just the way I want Nick Cage and Richard Stanley to be. Kind of sad it doesn't have HDR on this one. RLJE Films tends not to do HDR on the films I've seen, like they also put out VFW. No HDR with that, but it's still a fine-looking 4K transfer. And I haven't cracked this open yet, but I picked up The Elephant Man, the Criterion Collection Blu-ray. Anytime David Lynch gets an upgrade to Blu-ray, I am going to pick it up. I still need to pick up the Criterion Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me and Blue Velvet, which is probably my favorite film of all time. It's right up there, top 3. But glad to have Elephant Man on Blu-ray, even though it did get a 4K release in the UK from Studio Canal. Waiting for Criterion to jump on that 4K bandwagon. From Blue Underground, Badass Urban Avenger, Vigilante from 1983. Also has an alternate artwork on there. Directed by William Lustig of Maniac fame. Stars Richard Bright, Carol Linney, Woody Strode, Joseph Bonnell's in here, and of course Fred Williamson and Robert Forster, who just passed away. If you haven't seen Robert Forster, check him out in his last film role, which is a film called The Wolf of Snow Hollow. That is a gem of a film. So glad I picked it up. But this is a badass 4K. Unfortunately, the original elements for the soundtrack are lost, so there's no bonus CD on this one. It's a 2-disc set, Blu-ray 4K. Comes with a booklet with new liner notes. But this is a fantastic release. If you've ever seen this film, you've never seen it look like this. The 4K resolution is beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. The details are crisp. And the Dolby Atmos audio is amazing. And this does have HDR. And it does deepen the primary colors, the black levels, the contrast. It's all superior. Definitely worth an upgrade, even if you own the previous Blu-ray. Also new from Wellgo USA is Synchronic from Benson and Moorhead. The team that made Resolution, they made The Endless, Spring. This is their next level film. They've made these personal sci-fi films that I've always liked, but this is next level. This one stars Jamie Duran from 50 Shades of Grey, Anthony Mackie, who plays a Falcon in the Avengers film and the Marvel films. It's about this drug called Synchronic. It's supposed to be a designer drug, psychedelic, something to make you hallucinate, but there's time travel properties to it, and it's a really interesting film. I don't want to give too much away because I think you should go in with fresh eyes, but this is a fantastic release. It's got a cool making of, a humorous alternate ending, a VFX featurette and previs, one deleted scene, not a ton of extras, but this is a solid presentation. Looks great on Blu-ray. If I had seen this before I made my top 30 of 2020, it would have made the list. It would have been towards the top of the list. But this is a gem. Check it out. And then we got the January titles in from Severin Films, including the Blu-ray upgrade of Theater Bazaar, their horror anthology. Previously released on DVD, not by Severin Films, but this is a fantastic anthology. You got Udo Kier here. It's a scene on the cover. I don't love the cover. I like the portrait. I don't think it's an amazing cover, but the film is fantastic, with vignettes from Douglas Buck, Buddy Giovizano, who did Combat Shock, David Gregory, Kareem Hussein, Jeremy Kasdan. Tom Savini, and of course Richard Stanley has a really cool, that's my favorite one on here, the Richard Stanley short is amazing. Also from Severin Films, we've got the horror anthology documentary, Tales of the Uncanny. Over 60 talking heads on here. A lot of this was made during the pandemic. There's not too many sit-down interviews. There's a lot of Zoom interviews, but I like the way they framed it. They've got some really great visuals that keep it interesting. Kim Newman is only in here on audio. The audio sounds pretty scratchy sounding. It's not the best quality. Sounds like he phoned it in from somewhere rural. But they have it coming out of a old radio, which is cool. There's a lot of clips of films. They go through all the anthologies that we know and love. Creepshow, the old Amicus stuff, Tales from the Vault, Tales from the Crypt, older stuff like Dead of Night, on through to stuff like VHS, the ABCs of Death. And they even mention their own Severin released anthologies, Theater Bazaar. It's really great. They also include 2 bonus movies. We get Eerie Tales, which is an anthology, a silent film from 1919, and Unusual Tales, which I believe is a German film or a Belgian film from 1949. Haven't had a chance to watch those yet, but this documentary about anthologies is amazing. I'd seen almost everything on it. I love anthologies. I have dozens of anthologies on disc. But they did mention a few that I haven't got around to yet. So that was kind of cool. I wrote those down. I'm going to look for them. But Tales of the Uncanny, love that artwork. And the last from Severin is Family Portraits, an American, and a trilogy of America. These are 3 short films directed by Douglas Buck. The Cutting Moments from 97, Home from 1998, Prologue 2003. Those are 3 separate stories. He did combine them in 2004, and they screened in a couple of cities under the title Family Portraits, a Trilogy of America. Looking forward to checking it out. I saw a clip of it. It was very bleak and depressing. Holding off on this until I'm in a better place to watch it. Oh, also picked up some music. Iggy and the Stooges, From K.O. to Chaos. This is a pretty cool clamshell case. Inside there's a 48-page booklet, and all the films are in the CDs are cardboard slips. And so we got, this is all post-rock power stuff that they did, recorded right before they broke up. The Metallic KO album, the 2 shows that comprise that album, 2 discs of rarities, an acoustic KO. This is a DVD release of Iggy playing songs acoustic, and then another show that he played electric at a Virgin Megastore in the 90s. Then we have the Reform 2004 concert from Japan with the Stooges, and then an acoustic CD as well. The sound quality in most of these live recordings is not great. This is a set for completists only. I mean, you've got to be a fan that likes to deep dive into the catalog beyond the greatest hits, beyond the studio albums, beyond anything like that. These are raw audience recordings, except for the acoustics. One of them is a live demo session in a studio. I know there was a TV performance, and the quality is very decent on those. But Iggy and the Stooges, From K.O. to Chaos, the complete Skydog, Iggy Pop and the Stooges collection, 7 CDs and a DVD. I've seen this online for about $55. It's got cool packaging. I dig it. If you're a deep diving fan of the Stooges and Iggy Pop, worth a listen. Not audiophile quality by any means, but raw, just the way the Stooges were, and a pretty good document of the band at the time. You've probably seen a ton of these, but I did pick up a few things from Vinegar Syndrome during their Black Friday sale. I upgraded my old Scorpion release of Incubus, which is a fantastic supernatural slasher. A New England town becomes the site of a grisly murder and assault, leaving a young man dead and his girlfriend in critical condition. Sam Cordell, head surgeon and medical examiner at the local hospital, senses something isn't quite normal about the attacker, but barely a day later, another woman is savagely assaulted and killed. This is a great film. John Cassavetes is in here. John Howe from Legend of Hell House. Fantastic Blu-ray release. Ton of great features on this one. Does have reversible artwork as well. The original cover from the Scorpion release. Great stuff. A film we were waiting to make the Blu-ray debut for a long time. 1980s Fade to Black. Never thought this would see disc, at least not on Blu-ray. The DVD's been out of print for a long time. I could not pass it up. I love the slipcover. They had, I think, 2 slipcover options. That's the other option they had. You get it as a reversible option on the release. Fantastic film, great set of extras. Great to see it finally land on Blu-ray. Fade to Black. And one of my all-time favorite films, ever since I saw it on HBO, The Beastmaster. Of course, you've seen this set probably a lot on YouTube. I've seen a lot of unboxing videos for it. But this patented case is amazing. There's even artwork on the inside. It is gorgeous. More artwork on the inside. And even more on the 4K. And it is reversible as well. I have loved The Beastmaster ever since I saw it as a kid. I must have been 8 or 9 years old when I saw it. I prefer it to Conan. I prefer it to Conan to this day. It's still one of my favorite sword and sorcery films. You also get this booklet with it. Fantastic stuff. Vinegar Syndrome knocked it out of the park. I hope to see this style of packaging again. They really do great work on their packaging. Couldn't be happier with this release. The 4K is not immaculate. It's not pristine. The original negative's considered lost. They had to go with I believe it was a theatrical print or an answer print for this. It does look better than the Umbrella Entertainment Australian Blu-ray. It's got the making of documentary is amazing. Of course, it has interviews with all the original cast, including Tanya Roberts, who just passed away. So it's great to see her. I'm going to rewatch that, knowing she just passed. But that's what I've got in lately, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I wish you guys all a very happy 2021. I hope you're staying healthy, you're happy, you're spending time with your family when you're in lockdown. You're watching a lot of movies. I know I have. I've never watched so much TV in all my life than I have right now. The latest thing I'm watching is 30 Coins on HBO Max, from the director of Perdita Durango, which is coming out in 4K from Severn Films. I'm so excited for that release. But the show is amazing. It's some of the best religious horror that I've ever seen. It's gory, it's gruesome, it's dark. The occult stuff is amazing. The monsters are creepy. Definitely check it out. 30 Coins on HBO Max. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.